Welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. I'm your host, Willie Bragg, and guess I'm here to talk about the New Hampshire primaries. Remember, they had one yesterday in New Hampshire, so that's what I want to talk about. But before I do, let me say my quick hellos to everybody here. I see that Daniel Berry Sports Highlights is here. I'm glad to see you here. Let's see, we have Miguel. Great seeing you here as well. And let's start talking about this primaries and what it means. Because as you know, that the I guess you could say the foregone conclusion took place, and that Donald Trump's on a winning streak right now. So, so let's talk about the results, and I'll go in and give you my take as we do this. So this is from Yahoo News 2024 New Hampshire primary full results from John Ward, Chief National Correspondent. As you can see, Donald Trump won easily with 54.6%. With Nikki Haley, actually in a very comfortable second, but the momentum is still for Donald Trump. Although I do think that there is going to be maybe a bounce for Nikki Haley as a result. Ron DeSantis, yesterday's news, but not totally yesterday's news, because I gave y'all my reason why Ron DeSantis could still end up being the Republican nominee. I will tell you that right now it looks like he's toast since he suspended his campaign, but yeah, he still could be a factor. Chris Christie, who's not a factor with 0.4%, and all the others, I guess you could say write-ins at this point, 0.3, which means they have no chance at all. So there you have it. So let's go ahead and check with this. Let's go ahead and let's talk about the Democrats for a minute. Let's see here. They did have a primary. The Democrats did have a primary. So Joe Biden was the write-in, and he had 54,304. Let's see. We had Dean Phillips with 20,917, getting 19.8% of the vote. Unprocessed write-ins were 14.2, which could mean pretty much anyone from Donald Duck to whatever being the write-ins at that point, unprocessed, and of course, and all that. Other write-ins, 6.2%. Marianne Williamson's down to 4.8%. Now, very quickly about with the Democrats. I will talk about the Democrats real briefly, because I need to focus on with the Republicans. But I would say that with the Democrats, I will tell you where I stand as far as my take on Democrats is concerned. With Marianne Williamson and Dean Phillips, what can I say about both of them? Well, Dean Phillips is largely a centrist Democrat, but his one thing going for him is he supports Medicare for all. Good. So does Marianne Williamson. So Joe Biden needs to listen to them in that regard. But Joe Biden's got the nomination, and I'm still not impressed enough with Marianne Williamson, nor am I impressed enough with Dean Phillips. Although, are they both better than Joe Biden? Perhaps, but I'm voting third party for president in November. Nothing was going to stop me. I just don't know which third party candidate I'm going to vote for between Cornel West, Jill Stein, Claudia Dela Cruz, or William Stoughton. But there are my four choices. So let's go with this article here. Former President Donald Trump held off. Former President Donald Trump held off former UN ambassador Nikki Haley to win the New Hampshire primaries Tuesday night, notching his second victory in the Republican contest to select its nominee for president. The Associated Press called the race for Trump shortly after 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which I was asleep because I work graveyard shift. The victory for Trump comes a week after his win in the Iowa caucus. So let's go ahead and scroll down. Democrats have historically put Iowa and New Hampshire first and second in their nomination process. But for the 2024 election, the Democratic National Committee moved South Carolina's February 3rd primary to the front lines. New Hampshire Democrats held the primaries anyway Tuesday night, though President Biden chose not to put his name on the ballot. And the National Party says the primary will have no impact on the nomination. Biden was a write-in candidate in New Hampshire, and the Associated Press called the race, the presidential race, shortly after 8 p.m. local time. Results from the Associated Press will be posted here as they come in, and you can see the links below, for the resources of the New Hampshire and the 2024 election. So, let me just say this when it comes to the Democrats with this particular race, the primaries, is this: the fact that the Democratic Party's pulling the shenanigans. It's getting old, Democrats. Yeah, You fucked Bernie in 2016. You fucked them again in 2020. And now you're fucking Marianne Williamson, and you're fucking Dean Phillips. And you were fucking Robert F. Kennedy, but Robert F. Kennedy couldn't take any more of that shit. So anyway, that's what's going on right there with the candidates in the Democratic primaries. They are being screwed over by the Democratic Party, and it's amazing because Republicans are more authoritarian than the Democrats, but the Democrats are so fucking stupid that they manage to make themselves look more authoritarian than the Republicans. And no doubt that they are being authoritarian, the Democrats. But when push comes to shove, I can tell you that the Republicans are going to be way more authoritarian. But I despise both parties. So I just want to say that much. And I feel sorry for our allies or people who are our counterparts inside the Democratic Party, the leftists, who have to sit there and receive punches all the time as the corporate establishment punches left. Oh, they'll virtue signal and say Trump is an asshole, but they rather punch left. They're happier when they punch left. And I want each and every one of y'all listening to this to never forget that fact. Democrats punches left. That's all they know how to do. So anyway, I guess basically I'll go ahead and play the Fox News win as projected by Fox News and what they have to say about it and all of that. So momentarily, folks, we will go ahead and talk about it in just a minute here. And my computer is liking to do this little bouncy, spongy little dance right there. Certain little things get on your nerves online, stuff like that. Anyway, here we go. Here we go.
We have a call to make. Let's bring in Martha McCallum, anchor of the story, and Brett Baer, anchor of Special Report.
Well, Jesse, the Fox News Decision Desk can now project that former President Donald Trump will win the New Hampshire Republican primary. This is
no big surprise.
This is an important win for Trump, given the role that undeclared voters, moderate New England Republicans, play in this state in particular.
He defeats his only notable rival still in this race, former Governor Nikki Haley. Haley appears to be running a somewhat closer race than the recent polling had showed. Both of these candidates will receive a share of the 22 delegates at stake tonight. You have to get over 10% in order to start divvying up those delegates.
Yeah, as you can see, 54.3 versus 44.7. Now, in fairness, it is kind of even though it became a two-man race, the Orange Frito versus the South Carolina Karen. You can see right there, as I was saying in the Associated Yahoo Press about the election results. So here we go.
And she's in that range.
And what's really interesting, Jesse, is that immigration, again, the top issue, Iowa and New Hampshire. And the Trump campaign was very disciplined in how they pitched that. Every rally we went to, every commercial has some mention of immigration, and they hit that hard in the final days.
It's pretty stunning that immigration has gotten to the top issue in New Hampshire. And I think you look.
What's so sad is what needs to be on the top issue is whether humanity can continue or not in this world. Both Republicans and Democrats like to sweep the really big issues under the rug, or here domestically, the fact that we have an evil profit motive based healthcare system, a prison industrial complex. I mean, I know the Republicans are not going to talk about that. In fact, they're for it. And the Democrats only pretend to be concerned about it, so, but anyway, just wanted to go and state the obvious.
Look back at all of the migration and the intentional migration that some of these governors in southern states did, sending migrants up to these more northern areas, Jesse, and it's resonating with voters up here. There's no doubt.
The other thing,
what they did in Florida and what they did in Texas, both Abbott and DeSantis, obviously deserves to be put under arrest for human trafficking. Because what the hell can you call it when you take migrants and you send them to another state? You send them to another, and anybody who's a Republican wants to go blue state me that shit don't work. The blue states and the red states, there's hardly any difference, when it comes to this sort of thing, except for the virtue signaling. And the only thing that makes red states, blue states marginally better is maybe only a slightly pro-union presence, but nothing compared to what it was decades ago. So there is that. And anyway, when it comes to the immigration, without a doubt, what Governor DeSantis did down in Florida and what Gregory Abbott did in Texas makes me hate those guys even more than I would have currently.
To watch is what the spread is here right now. As you see, it's about 10 points, roughly, a little bit less than that. And, the question is, what does it need to be for Governor Haley to continue on? She says she's continuing on anyway, but there will be pressure, especially from Trump world, for her to do as Governor DeSantis did and step aside. Doesn't look like she's going to do that.
All right. So
because Donald Trump doesn't want to go and answer questions. He just wants to go on a campaign trail. He wanted to start campaigning early. And, while I can't stand Nikki Haley, I'm kind of glad she's around to troll him. They deserve to troll each other, honestly. As well, that's the one thing I am going to miss about Vivek Ramaswamy. He trolled the fuck out of Nikki Haley. That was entertaining. Unfortunately, we're not going to see that again, but it was unfortunate. It's unfortunate it went to a quick halt in that regard.
Looks like it's going to be about a 9 to a 15-point margin for the former president. Is that what we're looking at now? We just don't know exactly where it's going to land.
I think that's probably a safe guess at this point, but we're still at 19% with these numbers still coming in from different areas around New Hampshire. But, clearly it is a solid win. It would also be no one has won the Republican nomination, won Iowa, won New Hampshire, and not gone on to secure the nomination.
Yeah, but remember 4 years ago when Bernie Sanders won in Iowa, and he won in Iowa. Don't let the Pete Buttigieg supporters tell you otherwise. And he won New Hampshire, and he won a Nevada caucus even. Big. We all thought, well, I had reason to be concerned, but the conventional wisdom said in 2020 that Bernie Sanders was on his way to getting the nomination. And we saw what happened with Barack Obama making a few phone calls. It ain't over in this primary yet with these two motherfuckers in the GOP primaries. They're still going to. There's probably going to be some kind of shenanigans. That's probably the word to use right now. Some shenanigans will probably take place. And whether it will work or not, we don't know. We really don't know. But I like that. Catherine M. McCloskey says here, Orange, Mussolini, and senile Hitler win. Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of that. Absolutely, that 100%. I know, right? Says Miguel. Let's see. Yeah, I agree. Never Nikki. You know that saying, better the devil that you know. Yeah. Well, what's funny is that she probably is kind of moderate, which is not the worst thing about her. It's her fucking foreign policy that's what I can't stand about her. And obviously her normie Republican positions, is very horrible too. But what I'm also going to do now is I'll play you a Nikki Haley speech. Let's see here. It's a little short clip, so it's on repeat. So you'll probably be hearing her yammer on and repeat. So let's go hear what this Republican soccer mom have to say?
And the next one is my sweet state of South Carolina. At one point in this campaign, there were 14 of us running, and we were at 2% in the polls. Well, I'm a fighter. And I'm scrappy. And now we're the last one standing next to Donald Trump. And today we got close to half of the vote. We still have a ways to go, but we keep moving up. This race is far from over. There are dozens.
Shut up. Anyway, that's, and I don't care what TYT says. You can go and call her Namarata Ranhadwa, and it's okay. I don't care to Donald Trump, why Donald Trump started doing it. I do it too, because she wants to dox everybody by making them use their real name on social media. So I think I'm being fair by saying, well, do we really have to call her Nikki Haley? Why can't we just call her Namarata Ranhadwa? It's nothing to be ashamed about with that name. There's nothing wrong with the name Namarata Ranhadwa, but obviously she thinks it's wrong. But at the same time, she wants to go and basically dox everybody and who's got a pen name or goes by some other name online for whatever reason. People have a right to go and use whatever names they want, whether it's their real name or not, online. And she's and what she's doing is proposing is horrible. And and she's probably more censorious than Biden is, as you can imagine. Because Biden and the Democrats today are pretty bad on the First Amendment. So are Republicans, as we found out as of October the 7th. Apparently, you're not allowed to go hurt Israel's feelings in protest, or you will be called an anti-Semite and get kicked out of a college campus. Or if you're a professor, you will be fired for the thought crime of saying, Israel do bad things. So that's where we are in America right now. And just as it was ridiculous to cancel people over 20 years ago when certain fanatical elements within Islam would do bad things. Doesn't mean every Muslim do bad things, but a lot of the lefties, liberal types, faux leftists, shall I say, went and wanted to do the cancel culture thing. Now we turn around and we have Republicans wanting to cancel culture people who criticize Israel. So I like the First Amendment. I like free speech myself, as long as you're not advocating violence, you have a right to go and say whatever the hell you want to say without, people got a right to be mad at you, I guess. So, and I'm kind of delving off to the side because it's really late right now and I've been kind of up all night. So my point is that Nikki Haley, I find her extremely annoying and all of that. And here's the thing about her. Here's the thing. What Nikki Haley is, she's basically she was inspired by Hillary Clinton, which is a strike also against her. And and what else she is, in spite of how terrible this one woman is today, she's basically a significantly less attractive version of Tulsi Gabbard. When you think about it, she's an older and less attractive version of Tulsi Gabbard. That's what she is. If Tulsi Gabbard was a middle-aged Karen, and her politics has gotten kind of ugly, referring to Tulsi Gabbard too. So, it's a matter of time before she'll be a carbon copy of Nikki Haley. She's already sounding like her on foreign policy more and more these days, whereas she sounded more like Abby Martin, who also kind of looks like Tulsi Gabbard in a way, weirdly enough. So, but anyway, yeah, Tulsi Haley, I like that. That's funny. Yeah, so I guess when I point that out, people do see the resemblance. I remember saying that about Neera Tanden back about 3 years ago when the Biden administration was trying to appoint her to a position, and this was Office of Budget Management, I believe it was, and there was everyone from Mitch McConnell to Bernie Sanders was opposing her, including Tulsi Gabbard, and even on the online left, everyone from Nomiki Konst to Jimmy Dore were opposing her too. So that is a wide span of people to have an opposition to Neera Tanden. So anyway, just kind of wanted to go ahead and talk about that too. So anyway, so it's a Nikki Haley Donald Trump contest. Let's see where that goes and everything. So, and just in case you're wondering what this background is here, this is the background of the drawing room for Dark Shadows. I'm not actually on the Collins estate at the new house, because their property had two mansions there in Collinsport. But it's just a background I use because I just like it's a neat looking background. So I just felt like doing something different today. So there you have it. Announcements to make. I will try to be streaming a little more this week. On Friday, of course, will be Braglands with me and Jimmy. We'll be back on Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, of course. And if you live between the East Coast and the West Coast, I will say do the math. It kind of just confuses me when I have to state the time zone, But suffice to say, that is the case there. I'm not saying who it is, but I will be probably having a very big surprise guest in the next few days. We're working out the details. We were talking, and so I will let you all know if that takes place, and if you don't hear anything anymore, because it's whatever it is. So hopefully this will be possibly on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to having this guest. When we're like 95% ready to we're 95% there. We just have to decide on the time and everything. And when that happens, you will see the thumbnail, you'll see the announcements and everything. I will make sure that's several days in advance. So there you have it. If you like what you heard, please press like and comment. Comment any ways you disagree with what I have to say. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it, because we are, in fact, the muckrakers of our time. Also, please subscribe to this channel, The Willie Bragg Show. Subscribe to The Willie Bragg Show on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, Facebook, you name it. And if I put up a MySpace page of the Willie Bragg Show, remember that? Create a profile or try to get that password, retrieve that old password, and follow me there if I decide to do that. So, and let's see, what else am I going to say? I guess, I'll conclude by saying to you all, free Julian Assange, free Palestine, free healthcare, and free speech. Y'all take it easy. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.